Friends in Christ, Pastor Brian here. Now, as I record this, it's Election Day 2022. And I'm hearing the front door open and close on a regular basis as people come into St. John to fulfill their civic duty and vote. And I'm also hearing much laughter and conversation between voters and election workers. These same election workers who were here by 6 o'clock this morning, their leader was here by at least 5:45, to get things set up and ready so that we, their fellow citizens, could do the important work of choosing our leaders. Now, the 8th Commandment tells us that we should not bear false witness against our neighbor. And Martin Luther, in his small catechism, reminds us that what this means is that we are to fear and love God so that we do not tell lies about our neighbor, betray them, slander them, or hurt their reputation. Rather, we are to defend them, to speak well of them, explain everything they do in the kindest way. Now, unfortunately, election season sees a lot of breaking of this commandment. I don't know what it is, but there is a lot of 8th Commandment breaking going on, particularly around the integrity of those who volunteer to work our elections. Now, I've personally seen and heard some awful things said and written about poll workers, about their integrity, their motivation, even their basic humanity. And some of these things have been bad enough that people have had to move out of their homes for fear of their safety. I've heard many accounts of volunteers being harassed and accused of nefarious deeds by people who frankly are either uninformed or misled about how the system actually works. Honestly, as both a citizen and a follower of Jesus, it makes me sad. These poll workers are our neighbors. They're the people who live next door to us, who go to our churches, who shop in our stores, attend the school play for their grandkids, and who give of their time to help our democracy work. There are a number of them who attend our own congregation. There's Annette, who was a volunteer for many years when the polling place was over at the library. Jim and Marla, who've retired and spend time over the last few weeks working to help with mail-in ballots. I have a retired colleague and her husband who've worked the polls for decades. And there are many more, ordinary neighbors just like these people. And their only goal is to help their neighbors express their will through voting. And yet, many will break the 8th Commandment by looking at what they do in the worst possible way, by speaking ill of them and assuming they're up to no good. And so I hope you took time yesterday to thank our poll workers, to express your appreciation for the long hours they're working, to extend to them the same 8th Commandment courtesy that God requires of us, and to look at what they're doing in the best possible way, to speak well of them and the work that they are doing. For God knows, it's only when we follow these basic rules that we can truly begin to live in the reign of God, a reign that is built on trust and respect, and most of all, love for our neighbors, no matter who they are. Now, I don't know how the election will end. Aside from my vote, I can't do much about that, but I can speak about and affect how we look at and speak about one another. And so let us commit together to keeping the 8th Commandment, to refuse to bear false witness against our neighbors, especially those who are serving us like these poll workers. And in so doing, we participate in the inbreaking of the reign of God. God's blessings.